What's up YouTube, Saf here on SuperSaf TV and welcome to another epic SuperSaf style camera comparison, this time between the iPhone 7 Plus and the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. So the iPhone 7 Plus has a unique feature which is the dual camera, and we'll be putting that up against the Samsung Galaxy Note 7. The Note 7 does have the same cameras as the S7 and S7 Edge, so you can expect similar results on those devices as well. And in the usual style, we'll be looking at both the front and rear facing cameras, and our images as well as video too. Do also look out for the audio icon in the corner of the screen, and that will indicate to you which device the audio is coming from, and I'll be switching between these two to give you guys a better idea of the differences in audio as well. So we're currently in my car, so we've got plenty of light coming in, and we are using the front facing cameras on both devices. And what we'll be doing is going outdoors and doing some rear facing camera tests, and then we'll do some low light tests as well. So do hit that thumbs up button and let's get straight to it. So now we're outdoors with both devices. We're filming at 4K, and although this video is exported out at 1080p, it does mean we can crop in and get lots more detail. Now the other thing that you have here with the iPhone 7 Plus is that dual lens, so we can zoom in and we'll get even more detail compared to the Note 7. So that is a nice feature. So now we're going to test the stabilization out of both, so I'm just going to take a walk here and see how well both handle stabilization. I'm going to just start running a little bit just so we can really test the extremes. There we go. And now we are with the telephoto camera on the iPhone 7 Plus, walking, and I don't know what about you guys, but it looks very shaky here on the iPhone 7 Plus. So it looks like it might not have stabilization. Let's just do a bit of running as well. Interesting. They are both mounted to the same device, by the way. So now we're indoors in room lighting on the iPhone 7 Plus, testing out the autofocus. Seems to be doing okay. A little bit slow to capture the focus on the background box there. Now same lighting on the Note 7, and there's that dual pixel autofocus again. Straight away, boom. Even though we're under room lighting, it still is super quick to focus on. So that was the video. Now before we move on to images, just to clarify some of the specifications that we have. So the Note 7 has a single camera which is 26mm with optical image stabilization and an f1.7 aperture. The iPhone 7 Plus has a dual lens system, so the primary camera is 28mm with optical image stabilization and an f1.8 aperture. The secondary lens is 56mm and has an f2.8 aperture. And as you saw from the video earlier, no optical image stabilization. Now if you want to skin up one of your devices like I have done here on the Note 7, then definitely check out our sponsor for this video, which is dbrand. Dbrand skins are a great way to make your device look unique, whether that's the iPhone 7, 7 Plus, Note 7, or many other devices. I'm going to be leaving a link to them in the description below, so definitely do go ahead and check them out. Final thing to mention is that all images here were taken on automatic. I did not tweak any of the settings to make things as fair as possible, because that's how most people will be using them. So starting off with some SuperSaf style car selfies. Now the reason why I do these is because we have some background here as well, and then we can see the dynamic range of the cameras. Clearly the Note 7 has a better dynamic range. You can see much more of the background on the iPhone 7 Plus. The highlights are quite blown out. This is something consistent that we've seen on previous iPhones as well. The dynamic range isn't too great. We also have a wider angle of view on the Note 7, so that is going to be better for your group selfies. One advantage that the 7 Plus has over the Note 7 is that it's 7 megapixels compared to 5 megapixels, so you can crop in much further and you will get more detail on the 7 Plus. Now moving on to some indoor low light selfies. So this is under room lighting. I do like the 7 Plus a little bit better. I think the colors are better. You can see the background is actually white compared to the Note 7. And there's also some sort of processing going on here on the Note 7. This is something similar that we see on the S7. Now using the front facing flash, so this is where the front screen is illuminated to give you some more light. Once again, I do like the image on the 7 Plus a little bit better. It's got a little bit more detail. There is some processing going on, and we've got a little bit of a yellow sort of tint in the background for the Note 7. So for low light selfies, I would give the edge to the 7 Plus. Now let's move out outdoors. Here you can see that both are doing great here. We've got some great detail and some nice shallow depth of field. There's a slight difference in color. This is going to come down to your personal preference. But if we go in 100%, they both look great. The Note 7, however, does seem to be a tad sharper. Now let's test out the telephoto lens. In this situation, it should be absolutely ideal. And here you can see that we do get that zoom. So straight away, without even having to crop in, we're getting that zoom, and it does look quite nice. Going in 100%, we can crop in much further here on the iPhone 7 Plus, but we don't have as much detail. Now this is a secondary sensor, so this does seem like the reason why, because it's not going to be as good as the primary sensor, but nevertheless a nice to have. Now moving on outdoors to a wide shot, I think both are doing good. There was a complete overcast, so that's why you can't see anything in the sky. It's just complete cloud. Slightly more vibrant colors in the grass on the Note 7 compared to the 7 Plus, but both doing pretty decent. Testing out the telephoto lens on the 7 Plus, you can zoom in much further, but the highlights are quite blown out compared to the primary sensor, so that's just something to bear in mind here. Now moving things indoors in room lighting, I think both are doing decent here. The Note 7 a little bit on the yellow side, the 7 Plus a little bit on the magenta side. It seems to have a bit of a tint, which I don't really like. Now let's really push things in terms of low light, so I've switched off the lights here, and you can see that the Note 7 is definitely doing better. I think that does come down to the larger sensor size. We've got much less noise compared to the 7 Plus. If you look at the background of the 7 Plus, there's so much noise there. And comparing that to the Note 7 definitely has a better image. Going in 100%, it's much more apparent here that we have a cleaner image on the Note 7. The colors are also a lot better. We seem to have a bit of a green tint on the 7 Plus. Now comparing the telephoto lens here, you can see that although we do get a zoom, it's nowhere as good as the primary camera, and I think that does come down to the f2.8 aperture compared to the f1.8 aperture on the primary lens on the 7 Plus. Going in 100%, this is much more obvious as well, so although you are going to be able to zoom in much further, it is not going to be as clean in low light. Now moving outdoors in low light, you can see that both are doing really well actually, but the Note 7 does seem sharper. Let's go in 100%. And this is definitely the case. It looks like the Note 7 is sharper compared to the 7 Plus. And just for the test, trying out the telephoto lens, you can see that it's not doing as well as the primary camera once again, but it is still doing decent, not as good as the Note 7 however. Finally, a test using the flash. I think both are doing okay here. Bit too yellow for my liking on the 7 Plus, and also the face of dock is washed out a little bit on the 7 Plus compared to the Note 7. So there we have it, the SuperSaf style camera comparison between the Note 7 and the iPhone 7 Plus. I think both have great cameras. The Note 7 would get the win for the front facing camera in good light. You had much better dynamic range, and you also had a wider angle of view, which is going to help for your group selfies. The 7 Plus however did seem to perform better in low light selfies. For video, I think both did pretty well. If I was to choose one, I would choose the Note 7. I think it did have a better dynamic range, and also the autofocus, the dual pixel autofocus is much faster compared to the iPhone 7 Plus, which still seems to have last year's focus system. I can't really see much of an improvement here. For outdoor images, both were really good with lots of detail. The iPhone 7 Plus does have the advantage of using that secondary lens to zoom in, but do remember that the secondary lens is not as good as the primary lens, so you don't have optical image stabilization, and that's especially going to be noticeable when you're shooting video, so it is going to be a lot more shaky, plus you are zoomed in as well, so that's just something to bear in mind. And the f2.8 aperture is not going to work as well in low light. Now the Note 7 was definitely better in low light situations. I believe it does have a larger sensor, so it's able to capture more light, as well as the f1.7 aperture. So for low light, the Note 7 is still king. Now in terms of audio, I'll let you guys go back and hear the audio, but we have stereo sound on the Note 7 compared to mono sound on the 7 Plus. I'm not sure why Apple don't include stereo sound on their devices, even though it is 2016. But for audio, I would give the edge to the Note 7. And overall, the Note 7 did seem to win in most categories. The advantage that you do have with the 7 Plus is that you're going to be able to use the optical zoom. However, that will only work best in good light situations. That's what I think anyway. What do you think? Drop me a comment below and let me know your thoughts. If you want to see more images from lots of different devices, then go ahead and give me a follow on Instagram. I post lots of different images on there from different devices. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it useful. If you did, then please do hit that thumbs up button for me. It really does help me out. And if you haven't already, then make sure you have subscribed, because I've got lots more content coming up on here. And be sure to also switch on notifications so you see those first. Thanks for watching. This is Saf on SuperSaf TV, and I'll see you next time.